Welcome to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast, a space where we break free from tradition, creating a wedding day totally authentic to you and your love story. I'm Abby, UK wedding planner and owner of Elegance Unlimited, here to help you plan a wedding day that feels uniquely yours. Join me for planning tips and advice, endless inspiration, and a pocket full of calm within the chaos that is wedding planning. Consider me a trusted friend, here to walk you through it all. From injecting fun splashes of personality into your day, to reinventing tradition completely, all whilst focused on building a day bespoke to your dreams and desires. I cannot wait to get started, so let's get planning. Welcome back to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I am so excited for today's episode. I'm not going to keep you very long at the beginning here this week because we are diving straight on into our very first guest episode. How exciting is that? Today, we've got Maisie from MRC Dance on the show as my very first guest to talk all things first dance, creating that kind of perfect magic moment in your first dance before you kick off the evening. We talk about it all. I mean, we give some advice, we have some chats, we have some giggles along the way. It's a really nice episode, and honestly, I had the best time. Just the best time. I mean, this is part of my job. Are you kidding me? Just getting to sit and have a chat to amazing people. So believe me when I say this will be the first of many. I'm really, really excited to bring future guests on for you. But in the meantime, I really, really hope that you enjoy this episode. And as always, before we dive straight on into things, if you are enjoying the podcast, then please do leave us a review. Give us some stars, preferably 5 of them would be ideal. You know, I am always eternally grateful, but I will not keep you. I know you were excited as well. So let's dive straight on into the episode with MRC Dance. Firstly, then, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast because you're my very first guest.
Welcome. Oh, this is so exciting and such a privilege to be your first guest. Amazing.
I know. I thought it would be a nice place to start. And obviously, the listeners won't know, but we do know each other outside of the wedding industry. So, and you know, we just happen to both work in weddings. So I thought, perfect opportunity. She's not going to make fun of me if it goes wrong for the first one. So.
Absolutely. And we're going to be bridesmaids together next year.
We are. Maybe we need to do an episode talking about bridesmaid duties and things like that from outside of Pexit. That's a really good idea.
Hey, there's our topic.
Listen to us just brainstorming on the fly.
Maybe we should talk about what we should be talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so the reason I've actually brought you onto the podcast is to talk about your wedding business, which is First Dance. Well, it's not just wedding first dances, you do all sorts of stuff, but give us a little rundown on you and what you do and just kind of introduce yourself to the listeners.
Okay, well, hi everybody. My name's Maisie and I have a dance business that is all about empowering people and giving them confidence. Like you said, I'm not just in the wedding field. I do lots of different things, but in the wedding field, I am trying to encourage couples to have what feels right for them with their first dance and encourage them to have lessons to boost their confidence. It doesn't have to be like a strictly choreographed routine. I am there to make them feel comfortable with whatever feels right for them on their big day.
And that's amazing. Like, I love watching. If you've ever seen your socials, like the energy and the fun, it's just so nice. You can tell that there's so much confidence there. So yeah, if you haven't seen your socials, anyone listening, we will leave the links because you have to go and have a look at those. Go and have a follow.
I just love showing off my couples. Like, people think when I'm recording in lessons, sometimes they're like, oh, you're just doing this for content, but I go home and I watch it. Like, I am so proud of the just to see them blossom, and the development through their confidence is just incredible. So yeah, like a proud mum.
Do you know, I'm the same with my couples. When I'm looking back at the photos when we get those back, and I'm like obviously sharing them on social media because it's helpful for a business, but I'm also like, look how in love they are and look how amazing it was. It is a proud mum moment, isn't it, really? Just watching your couples grow.
It is. It's lush. And it's just, the connection as well. Like, I don't know, you must see it through all your photos and things that you get back afterwards. Is like, it's just gorgeous seeing that moment that you have created, but they have made.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
that
all for
sounds that
them.
sounds a bit mushy, but it is like
You
it is
have to be
all
a bit
there.
mushy in the wedding industry, though. I think
Oh,
you do, don't you?
if you don't love what you do, why are you doing it? Like, I am
Yeah.
obsessed with my couples and their dances and everything. Honestly, it just, yeah, you have to be
Yeah,
obsessed.
it's beautiful. And you can tell that definitely through the work you do. So, specifically, we'll talk a bit about the first dance side of things then. So,
Mm.
the first dance as as a premise, I feel like it's quite a traditional wedding thing, isn't it? Like when you get engaged, you think, okay, so we're gonna have the wedding, we're gonna walk down the aisle, my dad will be there, we'll do the thing, we'll have the drinks reception, we'll cut the cake, we'll first dance. That's a wedding. It's one of those elements that's kind of included as a given, isn't it? So how do you find, doing first dances? Do you find that it's still quite traditional? Do you find that people are wanting to change things up a bit more? Where's your kind of view with that?
Yeah, it definitely is traditional. It's something that people usually feel they have to do or have to include, like you say,
Mm,
your dad in the aisle and all it. Like, there's a list,
mm,
and first dances are on it. But I feel that people are spreading, that they're branching out a little bit more into what is traditional and what is right for them, which I'm obsessed with because it means that we can create something that's more them rather than just they feel they have to stand and sway, and the uncomfortable moment we've all witnessed at a
yeah.
wedding, basically. They all feel they have to do that, and it has to be a slow song, and it has to. No, luckily, more people are starting to branch out now, but I do still find there's pressures. There's
Mm,
pressures for people to have one. And I know this is what I do, but I actively encourage people to think that they don't have to do a first dance. If they don't want one, they don't want one. Why should they have to put that in their day? But I mean, I'm here to plug a little bit about
yeah,
what I do.
of
So
course.
on the other side, on the other side, I'm like make it you. So a lot of people have slower songs.
Mm,
That's the more traditional sense. I have lots of people coming to me for more of a, let's say, like a ballroom style. But literally in the last year, I've seen such a growth in people wanting to do something faster, a little bit with a little bit more energy, or including other people in it. So it's not just
yes.
them and their first dance, because the eyes are on them, and it's not for everyone. So no, I've definitely seen a shift since I've been doing this.
Yeah, definitely. I feel
Mm,
like I've noticed that even not just being like as a planner, I'll work with people and I'll always ask them, when I'm planning the logistics of the day, are we including a first dance? And some people are like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And other people are like, oh no, I can't think
Oof.
of anything worse. Like I don't want anyone looking at me and, we can't dance or we're not those kind of people. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like you say, I won't pressure them to do it, but it is one of those things that it's kind of on the tick list, ready to
Mm.
include as part of the day. But
Yeah.
I
But
guess,
then we say like, um, oh, for example, I was at a wedding show at the weekend and a couple walked past me, and I get it quite often where the lady looks
mm,
and she goes, oh, look at this. And then the other half looks, it's usually one or the other, and the other half looks and goes, mm. And
not for
it's like
me.
that little, and I think, okay, well, how can I approach this here without being like, you have to have one? I just say, you don't have to, but imagine if you do want to include that moment, but you're so off put by the thought of people watching you.
Mm,
And a lot of the time, it's not just people watching what they're doing, it's people watching what they're not doing, and it's them not knowing what to do with their hands or their feet, and they're going to tread on each other's toes, and it's going to be uncomfortable if you've not practiced it.
yeah.
So what I did at this wedding show was, just as people walked past and gave me that little response, I just said, but that's why I do what I do, because you have that response to it for a reason. You have the ick because you haven't ever tried it before.
Yeah.
You've not danced together. Come and experience that. Like, it's a lovely experience as well as on the day. And I'm just like, give it, you don't know until you try. That's the thing. That's the whole thing. And I'm here to build their confidence rather than it be a moment that they want to run away from.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice perspective, isn't it? Because a lot of people, if people know that they want to do a first dance and they're comfortable with it and they're happy to do it, they're
Yeah,
probably not going to be, I guess, the people that are coming to you. Like the people that are coming to you are
absolutely.
probably going to want a bit more help and they want a bit more guidance with the first dance and
Mhm.
how to incorporate it in a way that feels right for them on their wedding day, right?
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I do have some people that have danced a little bit before.
Mm.
It's usually one or the other. So the bride or the groom or whoever have danced before, and the other one needs a little bit of extra help. They usually drag that one along to the
Follow
class.
me.
They're the ones that enjoy it the most, the ones that are less experienced because
Mm.
they get so much from it. And I just, yeah. Oh, Abby, I love it. I talk
I
about it and
can
I have
tell.
so much love for what I do.
I can
Like I've
tell
got
how
a
much you love it as well. And it's
life.
so nice to watch. You know, there are, I say this a lot when I'm talking to other suppliers and things, but there are suppliers and people working in this industry that are just doing it because it's a job to do and they don't love it enough. And
Oh, it
I
hurts
can't
my
work
heart
with
to
people
see
like
it.
that. I know. I'm
No,
like, what do you mean you don't love what you do?
yeah,
Like,
like why are you here? Why are you
yeah.
here taking a place at this table when there's so many passionate people that
Yeah.
want to work with these couples? Oh, I agree.
Like you could be doing any job in the world if it's just a job to you, but you know, and this is why a lot of people say people that work in the wedding industry don't last a long time if they don't love doing
Mm.
it, because it's not easy, but you have to pour your literal blood, sweat and tears into it,
Oh,
but the rewards
every
are
single
amazing.
part. Yeah, they're incredible. It's amazing to just, like we've said, see your couples go from, I need help. This
Yeah.
is in both of our cases, to we had the best day, the best
Yeah.
experience, the best time.
I think because a wedding day's got so much riding on it, you know, there's so much emotion attached to it, so like everything's heightened, there's a lot of pressure and you're thinking, oh my, I'm only going to get to do this once, what if it doesn't go right? So you know, part
Yeah,
of our job is to come along and be like, let me help you
yeah.
make it go right, let me
You've
help
got
you
this.
ease things up and just ease that pressure a bit. And I think dancing, because you know everyone's watching you, is one particular thing that everybody's like, oh, that makes me feel unwell. Like the thought of it.
And yes, it does maybe to start with,
Yeah.
but not being funny, like you're gonna feel nervous regardless on your big day. It's
Yeah.
your big day. Like it's your the thing that you've been planning for months, if not years.
Mm.
It's gonna be nerve-wracking. So do what you can throughout the process to enjoy the experience of planning. Have someone help you plan your wedding, have someone help you learn your first dance. And it's not even just a first dance, it's a moment that you can use through your day.
Mm.
I had a new couple starting the other day, and I just mentioned to them that they said, "Oh, we need to sneak away on the day to have a little practice, right?" And I said, "To be honest, yes, because it will just ease you a little bit." But I said, when your photographer takes you away into your location for your photos, have a practice then, because then you're not just standing and posing, like they're not having to tell you where to put your hands, what to do. You can just dance it and you're outside or you have this different location and you've had a
Yes.
little practice, and it is such a beautiful moment because then no one's watching. Your photographer's there, but they're there with you all day anyway.
You can't
No
avoid them,
one's,
can you?
you can't get rid of them. They're your third wheel for the day. And no one's watching, and you feel this like breath. You can just do it for you, and it should then feel like that in front of people as well. It's
Mm.
there's no difference. There's just the people that love you and support you and want to see you have a nice day. Like,
That's such a nice
there you
idea.
go.
That's such a nice, I'd never even
Mm,
thought of that. But of course, like just having a
mm.
moment to dance and the pictures would be stunning.
Unreal,
Just dancing
unreal.
in a
Like I've
field
posted a
somewhere
few of
or,
those. Yes, I
yeah.
posted a few of those on my Insta with
Mm.
couples that have just gone off and maybe just practiced their dip that
Yes, the
I've put in
dip.
their routine, the dip, or a nice little lean where she's like just resting. There's one picture and she's like resting her head on his shoulder, and it's just so easy for them to do because it's part of what I've given them, and they can use it through their whole day. It's not just that one
It's
experience.
that part of moving together, isn't it? I think, you know, having a wedding
Mm,
day, like you're, you should be attached at the hip for the entire day. You get a lot of couples that kind of go separate ways and just meet at the end of the day again, and they're like, "Where have you been?" Which I don't
With
recommend.
you again? Are we married? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I don't
right.
recommend that. You want to stay close to them after you've had the ceremony, but you're going through the day together, and if you can have those moments where you're like moving as one,
Mm.
it makes that whole flow and your energy together feel really different. So I can totally
Or,
see.
yeah, especially if you have been separated. Uncle Frank wants to talk to you at the same time
Yeah,
as Grandma. You have to be, sort of separated sometimes, but that will bring you back together. You
yeah.
like have that moment of just, like I say, it's a breath. It's something
Mm,
just for you when you're trying to be there with your guests, and it's quite a lot of high pressure to talk to everyone and be there, and then your photographer takes you off and you can just have your own little bubble, your
just
own
be
little
you
moment.
for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Private moments on the wedding day, I always recommend. And I think
Mm,
having that moment, you'll have that to look back on. If you've had a choreographed first dance, you can do that in your
mm.
kitchen again when you're cooking dinner, like when
Yeah,
you're married. And like you can just be like,
yeah,
oh, remember our dance? Should we do it again?
yeah.
How
Oh,
nice is
that's our
that?
song. Let's give it a go. Like, yeah, I just think that is such a gorgeous thing. You can
So
carry that with
magical.
you forever. You'll hear that song and that will be yours.
Yeah, don't. Oh, I'll get emotional because I just love
I'm not
weddings.
joking. I'm not joking. I was teaching last night and I was watching my couple and I suddenly thought, holy, get yourself together, woman. I was almost crying.
You're
And I
supposed
just
to be
looked
the
at them and
professionals.
thought, oh God, you're so beautiful. I just thought, oh my God, that is just, wow,
Yeah.
that's everything it should be. They were giggling, they were laughing. It wasn't perfect because they were just moving. They were just doing
Mm,
what felt right to them, and that made it perfect, if
yeah.
that makes sense.
And it's a lovely moment, isn't it? I cry at
Mm,
every wedding.
mm.
I'm supposed to be the one in charge being professional, and I'm like watching them do the vows or anything, and I'm like, oh God, here we go.
And again, that goes back to us having such a passion for what we do,
We
and
do.
the reason why you choose the person rather than the business.
Exactly. And I think that's it.
Absolutely.
There's lots of people coming up and starting new types of wedding businesses, and there's other people doing wedding dances and things like that. But it's like I say, when anyone comes to me looking for a planner, I might not be the right one. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't ever force anyone to be like, yeah, really going to try and get this couple to work with me, because if I'm not feeling the right vibes, then neither are they, and it has such an impact on the day. So when they're
Mm,
learning a dance with you, you want them to feel comfortable around you. You want them to feel like they can trust you and relax and just be themselves,
yeah.
so that they can learn properly and kind of grow with that, right?
And do you know what? I like pride myself in that actually because I genuinely feel that all my couples, I do anything I can to empower them and make them feel that this is, yes, I'm here, I'm with you, I'm teaching, but this is yours.
Mm,
You enjoy these sessions as your escape, time away from the kids,
mm,
time away from work or wedding planning. Like it's a stressful experience, as you know.
mm-hmm.
You literally do it for them and it's just an escape.
It's
It's
a
an
date night, right?
experience. It's a date night. And
Yeah.
if they go for the package, it's 5 date nights.
Oh, and you've got those booked in. Do you know how hard it is to book in a date night as an
They're
adult?
booked in, they're scheduled for about 2 or 3
You've got
months,
to
and
do
then they
it.
just run away then. That's amazing.
It's a perfect way to do it, isn't it? Because even with the best intentions, life gets busy.
Mm.
Maybe you've got kids, maybe you're running
Yeah.
around, or you're doing extra overtime, and the date
Mhm.
nights disappear. And when you've then got to plan a wedding, this is when that stress can come up, and you're like not making time for each other. So I think it's really nice. I saw a post you did the other day talking about how, the first dance, learning it isn't just about the wedding day, it's about spending that time together and just
Yeah.
being with each other as well, which I just think is a really nice perspective to put onto it.
The feedback that I get from my couples is that they loved the first dance experience on their actual wedding day,
Mm.
but it's the lead up that they enjoy the most because they get to learn
Mm.
together, and learning something new as a couple is actually something that is so underestimated. It's so
Yes.
much fun to do something at the same level as each other. It's not like one of you has done, like I said, 9 times out of 10, I've got newbies coming into me. They've not danced together before. So it's learning at the same time, the same sort of rhythms, and it's just feels so good to do
Yeah.
something like that together. It's such a bonding experience.
Yeah, I can imagine like stumbling and like laughing with each other and
Yeah.
just being able to go
Oh,
through
you
that.
kicked my toe. Hilarious.
Yeah, it's always funny. It's never not funny, right?
Yeah, it's always funny. Even if it hurts, you're laughing.
Yeah. And I think we need more laughter in life, right?
Oh, God, yeah, bring it on, please,
That sigh said a
please.
thousand words,
Yeah,
didn't
no,
it?
it's been a busy time, so any little laughter I can get
Got to
is so
take it
good.
where we can get it, 100%. Yeah. Talk me through a little bit then about how you've got a couple coming to you that are really
Mm.
keen to do a first dance and they want it to feel like a really magical moment, but they're not confident dancers and they're really nervous about it. How do you make them feel comfortable in that process with you?
Yeah, so I always start by having a good chat with them beforehand, whether that's been at the wedding show or I ask them a few questions and things before we get started. And I always let them know about what the process is going to be like when they come, what they should wear. They should wear something comfortable. They could break in their wedding shoes if they wanted.
Mm.
They can have a little practice at home afterwards, and we'll always film it at the end of each session so that you've got it and you have something to as a reference and you can, so I just let them know all those little details that you're always questioning, but I also say that they're in safe hands and that in the first session you're going to be nervous because it's something you've never done before, but by the end of that first session I want that shift to have changed to, oh, she's not that bad, she's not a scary dance teacher like loads of people are out there. And yeah, so building their confidence with it for me, I will take their first dance song and I'll say, leave it with me. Unless you've got any like massive ideas of what you want to do, leave it with me and I will choreograph the first section. We'll meet, have our first lesson, and I'll teach you that. And I'll just see how you get on with it. And then I can tailor it to you. And that's how I give them the confidence is it's original and it's tailored to them. I will use steps that I think would suit them as a couple. And also, for example, height differences.
Mm.
You don't think about it as often as possibly you should, because when they like come into me and I'm thinking, okay, so he needs to raise his hand above his head and she needs to go like walk around and she can't even reach his hand.
She's
So
too
I'm like, so
tiny.
why, yeah, so why have I then choreographed a routine with that in for this couple that's not suited? So yeah, I will do the first little chunk with them and then they'll go away, I'll go away, and I'll choreograph the rest based on what they were like as a couple. Like I've actually had that experience with them and I've built their confidence by tailoring it to them. It's not going to be anything out of their comfort zone, anything like that. So if they don't want a lift, there's no lift in it. I'm not pushing them out of their boundaries of comfort. They don't want to go past that. So I will just cater it to them. And I think that's how I build their confidence is I actually try to properly understand them as a couple and get to know what it is they want from this experience. And I think listening to people is something we all need to do as much as possible to make sure it is exactly what they want from that experience.
Yeah, that's so true. Like listening to
Mm.
people more, like so much of our job is just listening and learning about
Mm.
people. There are, when you go to start planning a wedding, you don't know what you're doing. I say this a lot because people haven't done it before, unless it's your second wedding or, you're renewing your vows. You haven't planned a wedding before. So a lot of it is unknown. And I think that's where
Mhm.
some of the nervousness and the worries can come from because you're like, well, how is this going to go? And what am I supposed to do? And they come to us as the experts to tell them. And a lot of people will just say, well, this is what we do. I'm going to, another dance teacher might come and say, this is how we're going to do your dance. You're going to do this, that, and the
This is what
other.
it is.
And it's too
Yeah.
much for them. So I really like that idea of, making it bespoke to them. And not every wedding dance should be the same just because it looks
No.
a certain way.
No, if I have the same, so I've had only two songs repeated with,
Really?
yeah, which is bizarre, it's crazy, but I'll never use that same routine again. So if someone brings a song to me and says, oh, it's been done before, I'll say, it doesn't matter because this is going to be your routine. This is going to be your moves. It's going to be completely different because you're a different couple and I want it to suit you and feel right for you. So yeah, and also on top of it all, I will be their number one cheerleader throughout.
I
I
love
will
that.
cheer them on and I will try and make them feel as good as they can in themselves. It comes from themselves. We can only give them so much
Mm-hmm.
confidence wise, but to try and build those blocks up of, oh, you look great. Like, look at you as a couple doing that. That just
Never
is such
hurts
a
to hear that,
stunning
does it?
moment. Yeah, but it's such a nice thing to get a compliment. It costs nothing and it's a lovely thing to do. yeah, I'm all about empowering
Mm.
anyone. Doesn't matter who walks in.
Yeah, and
Anyone.
it works so much better than criticism, doesn't it? If you're picking, oh, you didn't quite do that right, and you didn't quite do that right, then they're going to be
Yeah,
so stressed that they've not.
wrong foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
God, you're
come
so
on.
stupid. You need
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, pick it up quicker, please. Come on.
You need to
No,
have
I
someone that's there being like, "You're doing great. Look how far you've come." Like it
yeah,
makes such a
okay,
difference.
wrong
Yeah,
foot. Haha, let's try again.
yeah.
It's
Laugh it
not
off and
a
move on.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Like, I am not here to create the most perfect. You don't have to do heel toe. We're not thinking all of those things. We are thinking of the moment for you.
Mm.
Are you staring into each other's eyes? Are you having a lovely time? Yeah, done. Sorted.
I love
Oh,
that. Do you know what I think? Because so much of the day is based on like the beginning part. So like getting married and like the physical walking down the aisle, and you think that's the most stressful part.
mm,
Once that's done, we just want to have a party. And I think that's why maybe some people get rid of the first dance because they're thinking we don't want to be stressed anymore. We just want to have a nice time. But I think bringing
mm,
in those moments of magic and emotion later on in the day keeps that going, doesn't it? It's not
yeah.
just then you've had the magic moment where you've got married and then right everyone party, that's great, and if you want to do that, fine, but those kind of moments, like you say, go off and have a private little dance and then later have your first dance. It's more moments of magic throughout the day, isn't it?
Create as many of those special moments as you can
Yeah.
together because it's all about you at the end of the day. I know that you're massively into making everything about what they want to do.
Mm.
It's got to be for them. And yeah, I feel exactly the same. I think we're a good team in that
We
sense.
are on the same wavelength. I'm having a great time.
This is so nice because it's not often you get, like you say, you come across quite a few people in the wedding industry that
Yeah.
don't have the same passion. So it's good to
Yeah.
experience
I feel
all of
like
it.
I'm really trying to build my tribe of,
Oh, the tribe, the
like-minded
word
suppliers.
tribe is the one. It's the one. And I found, don't get me wrong, my goodness, I have found so many gems in the wedding industry so far.
Mm,
And I mean, I've been going 5 years now, or nearly, towards the end of this year,
that's
and I
so
still
good.
feel like I'm meeting more and more people that I think, what, hang on, how have I not come across you yet? You are
Yeah,
wonderful. And it's just nice to have that little bond.
there are.
Networking when you're working on your own is the best.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? As wedding suppliers, we're working so much on our own. So there's
Mm,
like two things that then get to bring us like those big kind of bursts of joy. And one is working with our couples, and the other is
yeah,
finding other suppliers that are on the same wavelength, that have the
yeah,
same ethics and morals and kind of ethos that we do. And then that's what builds an amazing day. Building the
yeah.
dream team. I'm always saying to my
Dream
couples, like, you
team,
need to,
tribe.
it's the team that are going to be running your
Yeah,
day. Like, choose wisely with your suppliers.
absolutely. And go and meet them. Don't be afraid. Like
Yeah.
if you've booked someone, go and meet them. Absolutely. Like that
Yeah.
is your right. You've booked them. If they're at a wedding show or if they're somewhere and you can go and chat to them, do to check
Yeah.
that they are your person. We're going off. We're
We
going off
are.
on a
This is a
tangent, but
tangent. Let me check
it's
my.
no, it's lovely.
Let me check
It's
my
lovely
notes. Hang
though.
on. So, talking about couples kind of making their dance their own and,
Hmm.
making something that feels really like them, have you ever worked with a couple that wanted to do something really different, or is there something that you hope a couple comes to you and asks you to do that's just not the norm?
Yeah, I've had a few different things. I've had people doing the classic sort I say classic, but it's coming more into trend is like the mashup idea
Mm,
of surprising their guests. They're doing something slow and romantic, and then they just bust out some moves,
amazing.
which is just so much fun. I mean, I won't say too much because I'm not certain of when this is coming out, and I don't want to ruin anything for anyone. So I won't be too specific, but I
Yeah, keep it
have
vague.
a couple. Yeah, keep it vague. At the moment, I have a couple who are sort of kind of recreating a music video from sort of 2000s time
Stop
that
it.
was a little bit wild. To me, I laughed the whole session with them. We had such a giggle because it's, to me, it's not a wedding dance, like in the traditional sense.
Mm,
You look at this and go, like the intro is they are starting with their backs to their guests and they're in like a curtsy position. That might be enough for some people to know what that is if you've seen the music video,
right.
but it's so wild. and so different. And that is what I love, because I watched it and I thought, I can't imagine this couple doing a slow song. It's not
Mm,
them. This is exactly them. This is going to make their guests burst out into laughter and with them have
yeah.
such a lovely time. And yeah, that's something at the moment that I am thoroughly enjoying, is doing something that is out of the norm.
Mm,
It's what we
yeah.
want. We
I
want it to
think
be
it's the
theirs.
way to do it. Like the
Yeah.
traditional stuff gets boring, doesn't it? And that's not to
Mm.
say that it's not beautiful. For some people, it's perfect. And I always say, if you see a tradition that feels right for you and you want to do it exactly that way, because there's no other way you can picture yourself doing it, amazing. But like you say, that couple's come in and you can't picture them doing a slow dance. Why force them into it? And I think the first dance is that start of the night type thing. It's creating the
Yeah.
energy for the evening. So bring the energy that you want to see from your guests.
Yeah.
It's lovely to have that nice slow moment, but you can switch it up halfway through and be like, right, now
You
the
can.
party gets started. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Or alternatively, if a slow song is for you, which, like you say, for some couples, that is the
Yeah.
perfect thing for them. They want that lovey-dovey moment of, and I am never stopping that.
No.
I am obsessed with people having their moment that feels right for them. And the slow songs, like we said,
Mm, they
tearjerkers,
hit you in the
and that's
feels
what you want. Oh my goodness. Watching that as a guest, especially when it's not just like a
when it's a
two and a
proper
half
dance
awkward
and,
thing,
the mums and the dads and grandmas
it's
just watching them.
captivating,
Oh,
and yeah, grandma crying. Don't.
honestly, as
Honestly.
much as I'm watching the couples on the day, I spend so much time just looking around at their guests, being like, who's crying? Who's about
Yeah.
to go?
Me.
Yeah, it's
It's
always
me.
me. It's always me as well. I'm looking through the tears.
So what I would say is have that slow dance, but then either ask your DJ or your band, whoever's creating that next moment for you, to switch it up for you.
Mm,
So you can either do it yourself, where you have the slow song, switch it up, look around, whoa, we're kicking off a
yeah,
mashup, or get your DJ or band to create that moment that switches up the mood. So you have your slow song, people can come and join you for that. Oh, enjoy that last like 30 seconds of the song
I
that you've
love
not
that, by the way.
choreographed to. I think that's really nice. But then have your band, they can take the responsibility of creating that moment. That's what they're there for, is to get people, involved. But I think if you're able to incorporate your guests in the last little bit of your dance, so you've done, your lift, your dip, whatever you do to end your dance, and then maybe tell your bridal party that's the moment, grab some people and come onto the floor
Yeah.
and just join. And then everyone's there. It's the icebreaker. You're all on the floor. Who's leaving after that?
No
No
one's going
one's
to leave
leaving
straight away.
then.
When you put a banger
No,
on straight after the first
put a
dance,
banger on and you're off.
yeah, you just got to
I
find the
would
right
say
song for it.
find the right song exactly, but they can absolutely have
100%.
the slow moment
Yeah.
that works into a different vibe. And that's
Yeah.
what the evening's then about. Like, we've had the moments through the day, carry on those moments into
Yeah.
your evening.
And then
Definitely.
you can just dance the night away and bring a couple of the dips back out again. Why not when you get the right song on?
Yes, absolutely. Do it.
These are
Do it with
skills for life that
every
you're
family
teaching.
member. Whack them into it. Let's go. Because you know it now. Everyone can join you. Any vibe, either vibe. But I like something a bit different now and again, because I just
Yeah.
think it's so obviously them. Like this couple that are doing this completely different thing that I've got at the moment is amazing. It's so good. And I've only had one lesson with them. They've got four more to just, they're going to laugh their way through the whole thing.
That's so good. I can't wait to see it. I'm
Um,
going to be keeping like
yeah,
stalking your socials now to be
yeah,
like, when's it coming out?
yeah, I can't wait. I can't, and I know the photographer. I've had a good chat with her about what they're doing, and she is
Mm,
also so ready for that moment now. She's so excited to capture,
yeah.
just like you say, not just them, but how the guests
The
are going to react as
reaction.
well.
Yeah. Because sometimes that's part of the day, isn't it? You're creating those
Mhm.
moments, not just for yourselves, but for your guests to enjoy as well.
And for your loved ones, you want to have a day with them, like celebrate with them.
Yeah.
They're there to celebrate you, so give those moments to them as well. You're
Capture
not there to
those.
perform.
No.
You're not performing for them. You're doing your own thing, but they're there to watch and enjoy that as well
Share
with
the
you.
moment.
So Yeah, share that
Yeah.
moment with
Oh,
them. Make it something fun for them. Yeah, it's going to be a good one to share.
yeah. We'll keep an eye on the socials for that one. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone choose to do a private first dance? So I know we talked about like people doing it as a practice earlier in the day, but have you ever had someone come to you and say, we want to learn a dance, we want that moment, but we just don't want anyone watching us, like we want to go off and do it by ourselves?
So, kind of, yes, kind of. So you mean not to do on their actual wedding day? They just
Or
want,
maybe they go off and have like, 10 minutes playing the song and get some pictures done, but they just have their
yeah,
first dance without everyone watching them in the pressure. They just want that
yeah.
moment to dance together.
So I actually had the loveliest experience with a couple who had their wedding during COVID. So
Oh
full
gosh, yeah.
lockdown. They weren't allowed to have as many guests. They weren't allowed to have dancing. People
What?
weren't able to get up and dance because it was,
Oh,
think
of
like
course,
peak
yeah.
lockdown. Everyone had, I was at a lockdown wedding, and you have to just be seated the whole evening. There was no mixing of tables or up and, socializing. It was so different. So this couple approached me, and they actually had already had some lessons with me for ballroom and Latin anyway, but they just mentioned one day that they never got that opportunity. They were seeing what I was posting on online, and they were like gutted that they
Yeah.
haven't had that experience, because they love to dance together, but they just never had their song with their dance. It just never happened.
Their
So
moment.
yeah, their moment, the moment
The
they never
moment. This is the key word of the episode.
key word, we love a moment. So I said to them, why not do it now? You're not going to have it for your wedding day. That's been and gone. It doesn't mean that's any less special. You're still going to have that. So I actually spoke to the lovely people at the place that I'm a recommended supplier for, Sopley Mill, in our
Lovely
local
venue.
area, gorgeous venue. And I asked if I can just borrow their dance floor for the evening. And I did a full package with this couple, taught them a wedding dance after their wedding, and we filmed it for them. We had a really beautiful and special moment, and it's meant everything to them. The amount that we talk about it still, like we're actually really good friends now,
Really?
and we talk about it all the time. And they said, "Oh, actually, can we come back and just do it again, see if we can remember it?" And all of those
Oh,
special, that key thing has just stuck in their head. They hear the song and it's back again.
oh, it
It
gives me
doesn't have to,
goosebumps, honestly.
it really was such a special thing for me to be able to do for them. And we weren't going to arrange anything, filming it, anything at all. And I got to the end and I thought, how sad that they didn't get to have that. So I, I arranged it. I thought I'm gonna get that done for them, so they now have it filmed forever.
That's
They've got it.
amazing. Maisie goes
Mm.
the extra mile, guys. This is
Oh,
the kind of
always.
gold star service you're getting.
I just, like we've said, I want that to be everything for
Yeah.
them. I want it to feel. I don't want to say the moment again.
Listen, it
It
is a
is the
moment. The whole
moment.
day is about creating those memories and the moments to look back
Yeah,
on for years to come. So
it's
even
the
though they'd had
memory.
their wedding, they could
Yeah,
do that and create that memory together that was so special to them that they're
yeah.
never going to
If
forget.
anything, it's extra special because they
Yeah.
didn't get it at the time, and they thought that moment's gone.
Yeah.
That memory, they're never going to have it. So, yeah, that was something
Oh,
really special I've
that's
been
so
able to
nice.
do.
Well, you heard it here first. You don't have to do everything on your wedding day, apparently. You can do it
Exactly.
afterwards as well. Everybody's saying
Leave
it's
it
just
with
one day.
us.
It's not. It can go on
Right?
forever.
Renewing your vows. Let's go again. Let's learn a wedding routine. Let's
Exactly.
do
Bring the
it.
dance out again. There's more
Yeah.
opportunities than one, isn't it? I think, your anniversaries, you can bring out the dance again and just do it for the two of you. I just think there's
Yeah.
so many times when you're going to get like not paid back for that, but like
Mm.
the returns are going to come in again and again because you get to relive it and experience it again. I think that's the
It's the
power of
first
music and
dance.
stuff, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's the first dance that never has to be just a first. It goes on forever.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
so special. It's so special. But yeah, to be able to offer that to that couple was very magical.
there's
A
nothing
real
better than doing
experience.
something totally bespoke for a couple, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because like we've said, every couple's different and they're looking for something completely different. I will never take on a couple and just say this is what you get. If something comes up partway through the planning process and I'm like, do you know what? I can help with that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm never
I get
just
it.
gonna rule
I
anything
get
out.
Oh, absolutely. I get it constantly where I've done a routine for a couple. So I've done the first one, choreographed the rest, and I'm carrying on thinking, these guys are good. These guys
These
are
guys have got
so
talent.
good. The 10 out of 10.
She's scouting them out.
But I think, wow, you are either getting this done really quickly, like you are just absorbing everything I'm saying and it's going really well. And let's add something else. Oh, hang on, you've done that special little arm movement. Let's include that. You look great doing that. Just little embellishments
Mm.
to add to it as well.
It's working with them, isn't it? I think
Mm,
it's a huge reminder that when you're hiring a supplier, yes, you're hiring them for who they are and how they fit into your day, but you are hiring them to ensure that they are putting you first and making
mm,
sure that you get taken into account before anything else. And
mm.
I think that gets forgotten a lot because everybody's just hustling away, doing our jobs, trying to, and sometimes,
Grinding.
yeah, you need to bring it back
Yeah.
to actually the couple comes first every single time. And
Mhm.
when every supplier is doing that, the day is just magic.
Bliss.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous, isn't it? I had a some feedback come back recently that said that I felt more like a friend than a teacher. And to have that,
Mm,
imagine that in 5 hours I've created that bond with someone to feel like actually there was two couples that used the exact phrase of, being a friend. And I want them to feel that comfortable with me. Why should they have anything less?
yeah, well,
But
exactly. That's the service, isn't it? And I think for
yeah.
such like in reality, a short amount of time that you're working with them with, like 5 hours,
Mm,
like you say, I almost kind of get that when I'm working with my couples for hours and hours and hours and weeks and like years at a time. By the end of it, I am truly devastated. I'm like, I never get to speak to you again. Can we please stay friends?
please
But when you're
keep
working with
following me
them,
so I can see
yeah,
you and like enjoy your
can we
life
please stay
together.
friends? But when you're working with them for like 5 hours, when you put that into perspective and that they've managed to get that feeling from you of like, you just feel like a friend now and we trust you and we want you to
Yeah,
stay in our lives, like, how amazing is that?
there's a trust and a bond that is like no other, really. You're
Yeah.
going through this really stressful period of time leading up to something that means so much to you. And I can offer that relief of being someone that you can just talk to, like, yeah, do you know what? That move's not right for us. Or just to be able to have that trust to just be honest and open with each
Mm.
other and create that experience together. Amazing.
It's so
Couldn't ask
important
for
for
more.
them to be vocal as well, isn't it? And be able to say to
Mm,
you, we're not happy with that and we're not comfortable
yeah.
with this. And actually, can we go over this again? The last thing you want is to be sat there feeling like, oh, I can't even tell her that we hate this so much. Like,
Yeah, yeah, like or I've never pushed a couple into doing lifts when they
hmm
don't enjoy a lift. Personally, I hate being picked up. It's not for me. I
mm.
don't like it. My brother did it to me when I was younger, dropped me. I've
It
never
brings
wanted
back
to be
some
picked up.
trauma.
I am traumatized. So, if someone says to me they don't want to be lifted, they don't want to lift in their dance, I'm not going to force them. Like, I'm listening to you. If that's what you want, we won't. We're not going to do that. But I'll give you an alternative. Let me show you something else that you can do. And then they love it. They love because it's for them. They're not being pressured and they feel that they could just say to me, do you know what, Maze? Great. I'm happy with that. Or
Yeah.
actually, love, I'm not enjoying this experience. I'm
Hold
not
up a
enjoying it.
second.
Hang on. That's not comfortable for me. And we'll change it.
Yeah. And it's
So,
feeling like there is always an alternative and that they're not just losing out because they choose not to have the lift, that they're going to have any
yeah.
less of an experience. I think there's so much, not even just in the wedding industry, but in life, isn't there? Of like,
Mm.
this is how this should look. And if you don't do it this way, then well, it's just not going to look good and it's not going to feel
Yeah.
good and it's not right. Like, that's just not the case. It's not the way that it is. You can have just an amazing experience and moments and feelings by doing it your way.
Absolutely. I will always give couples an alternative. So whether it's a different kind of lift, if they're not, oh, that one's not quite working for us, like or struggling to get up into that one, or
Mm,
if it doesn't feel as smooth, there'll always be an alternative because again, it has to be right for you. It has to be right. And you can't, you could enjoy the whole dance. Imagine if you've enjoyed the whole thing, but you're dreading the last move because you haven't been able to tell me that you've not enjoyed it.
And then
So
you're
yeah,
not in the
I'm,
moment.
you're not in the moment.
It's back again.
Back again, moment. We just love a
We'll need
moment.
to put it in
But
the title of this episode. Something about moments is going to have to be adjusted, I think.
your first dance moment.
Creating the moment.
I do love it though. And yeah, no, just always being honest and open with your suppliers. You should always be able to have that experience with them. And if you haven't, like we've said, they might not be your person.
Mm.
So find your little A team.
Find your gang. It's hard
Mm.
though, isn't it? Because I feel like maybe it's, and I know it's actually a very British thing that we don't like causing a problem. We don't
Oh,
like
sorry.
calling things out. You can go get your nails done, you go get your hair done, and you can hate it. And it's that running joke of being British, isn't it? That you're like, yeah,
Ah,
it's okay, I love
love
it.
them. Love
Thanks so
them.
much. And then you go home and just cry.
I wonder why you've spent all that money
Yeah.
on these things and all your
Yeah.
time and effort, and you've not even been able to express that, mm,
Not for
not what
me.
you were going for.
Couldn't even send the food back and it was raw. Do you know what I mean? It's we just we do things like
We are
that.
so
I feel
British.
like listen, I can get past that. If you want to
Yeah.
get your hair cut and you're not happy with it and you want to go home and cry about it, fine. I don't recommend it, but
Hmm.
fine. But your wedding day is not the place to
It
do
will
that,
grow back.
okay?
Whereas your wedding day is the
Call it
one
out.
day.
If you're not
Mm,
happy, you're putting so much, it's not even just the so much money you're putting into it, so
no,
much emotion, so much
time,
time.
energy.
Call it
Yeah.
out if you're not happy. Yeah. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be I'm really angry about this and I'm calling it out, making a drama. Sometimes, if you've chosen the right suppliers, you'll be able to go up to them and say, hey,
Just
can I
have a
just get this off
chat.
my chest? Yeah, we're
Yeah.
friends
Oh, I've
having a
been
chat.
thinking about it. Yeah. I dread the thought of someone going home and being like feeling heavy and thinking,
Yeah.
whoa, that really, I don't know how to tell her
And I've got to go back
because
next week. I've got 4 more sessions.
I've got, God, I got to do it again. No, I honestly, hand on heart, would never want that. I
Mm.
would never ever want that from anyone. And I really truly believe, hopefully, all my couples listening, that I've never given anyone that feeling. I think, if anything, it's reversed. They'll come into me thinking, oh no, I've got to do this so many times
Yeah.
and da da da. And then at the end, they think, why was I worried?
We're
I
here to
shouldn't
bring
have.
them that peace, aren't we? And I think every wedding I go to, or any time I'm talking about my business and the work I do, it's always the question that gets brought up like, oh, what's your worst couple you've had? Have you had any bridezillas? Have you had anyone that's been a nightmare? And I'm always like, no, like I'm
No.
so lucky that I attract people that are firstly amazing people, but that they trust me and we're
Mm.
not having the last thing I want to do with a business that I've built is have a cat fight with a couple over like
Oof.
drama. Like that's not
Yeah.
how it should be. You should be
No.
choosing people that are there to serve you in the best way. So I'm always like, oh sorry to disappoint. No stories here.
No dramas. No
No
dramas for
dramas. I have
me.
other things that have gone wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's always something. But in terms of the
Oh,
people, I've been very
honey, we're
lucky.
small business owners. We
Yeah.
are going to have dramas of our own. We don't need to
Life is
add
hard.
any more. We don't need more.
We do. We
No.
just smile through the pain of running a business, don't we? But it's so worth it. Like we've said,
Oh my
it's
God, it's beautiful. It's every highlight
mm,
is the biggest highlight you could ever ask
I
for.
know.
All the lows are a lot. There's many of them. There's going to
Life's
be.
about balance.
Exactly that. Exactly
Yeah,
that.
definitely. Have you ever gotten to go to, I feel like I know you've done some dances for your friends, haven't you? But do you ever get to go to the wedding
Mm,
day? Because your work is kind of one that you help them in the beforehand, but aren't
yeah,
necessarily there on the day.
definitely. I've been to a few. I've been to a
Have
few weddings. I
you?
know.
Even not
Um,
ones that you were like friends with before then, just ones that you were
yeah,
teaching and they've said come
ones
along.
that I'm teaching and they've said, please come. Just come to the evening. Even they're like, oh, I know it's a Saturday, but if you want to come along, I just want you to see it in person. And I'm like, so honoured by that. It's such a privilege to be invited. They don't have to ever. I never pressure them and go, oh, have you got a little
Where's my
invite for
invite?
me? You? There's none of that because I think, no, I've done my job now. You're
Yeah.
confident, you're ready to go. You enjoy that. And
Set you
send me the
off.
video
Yeah, yeah.
after because I
You
want to
need
see
to
that
see
too.
something, don't you? But
Oh,
yeah, that must feel
please.
amazing when they're wanting you to actually be there on the
Yeah,
day.
definitely. I've been to a good handful where they just want me to see it. And I honestly, I'm buzzing
They
every
want to make you
time.
proud.
Yeah,
Oh.
like we said, proud mum. I feel like I just stand there beaming because I think I've done this.
Mm.
And at one, actually, they afterwards, the DJ shouted me out.
Oh,
He said, I know, I was like, hello. He
famous.
said, God, you look like you've practiced that to the couple. And the couple were like, yeah, we had first dance lessons. And they all turned to me and they were like, ah, she's the best. Like
Oh.
she's done this for us. And yeah, that it's a really nice thing being able to be invited. But yeah,
Mm.
I had my friend's wedding last September, and that was another level of proud.
Oh, I
They
bet.
they actually waited. I'm sure they won't mind me saying this. Waited quite. It was quite late in the day, and they might have had a few drinks.
Yeah,
So
as you
yeah,
do.
it happens,
Hmm.
and they were heading into that sort of time where it was happening. And it was actually at the point where we had to run around and find the groom because he was just having such a fun time doing other things that he wasn't realizing it was first dance time. And like I've said, it doesn't have to be perfect. They giggled their way through the whole thing and enjoyed such a lovely moment. And they were another couple that use their first dance through their whole day.
Mm.
So, yes, they might have forgotten one or two moves when they got there because they'd had a few too many drinks. But they used, they have these photos. Again, they're on my socials, but they're so perfect. They're so
I think
beautiful.
I know the ones you're talking about as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
outside like a,
golden ones, aren't they?
yeah,
Yes, I've seen
yeah,
those. They are stunning.
yeah, they are stunning. And it's just such a privilege for friends to come to you and say that they need that help.
Mm.
Like, they don't have to choose me. They
Just
don't
because
have to
it's no
just
obligation
because
because we're
I'm here
friends.
going, this is what I do. Um, yeah, no, they just genuinely wanted that experience just based on needing it and wanting a first dance. And we had a great time.
Mm. It's
Being able
more.
to help your friend for their wedding day. Oh,
Yeah. It's
so
like
good.
any opportunity where I'm like, yeah, let me be a part of it, please. I don't want
Yeah.
to intrude, but please let me just join in.
I
I'm
do
so
want to
excited.
intrude, is what you're trying to say. I
Yeah,
do.
I
I
want
want
to, but I
to
want to do it in a polite way that doesn't seem like I'm being forceful and taking the
because I'm
reins.
British.
Yeah, because I'm far too polite as a British woman.
Yeah, it's been it's been nice to
Oh,
know people and help them. But also, like we said, make those friends, make those bonds throughout, and then be invited to the wedding day.
yeah.
How gorgeous! But yeah, 9 times out of 10, I will get back. I'll speak to the videographer or the photographer before the wedding day and say, I'm doing their first dance, like share some of their whatever you capture with me. I've spoken to the couple obviously and got their permissions for that, but I just get to see it after, and whether I'm there or not, it is so lovely to watch
Mm.
back and, like we said, see the reactions of the people around them. And wow, that it just kind of tails off. I can do a good nod and think, yeah, I've done my job.
I
That
did good,
There you go.
and they did
That
good.
was all right, that one.
Yeah. Do you know what? Because I still even get, as much as I know how well I can do my job, and that's not, a brag. Like, I'm sure you'd say the same about you. We do
You
our
should
jobs well. It's why we
absolutely
do
cheer
it.
yourself on like that. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even so, every single wedding day I go to, I am driving there thinking, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And I'm not even the one's getting married, but I'm like, what if this happens? What if this happens? Obviously, the couples won't know that. And if you're listening now, you will. But it
Expose
doesn't.
yourself.
But it doesn't. I'm so confident in my abilities and I know that I can do it well, but I will always be nervous on the day. And I
Hey,
will
we're
always
nervous because
still
we care.
nervous for them and nervous for like, oh,
Yeah.
I wonder what things are going to go wrong that I'm going to have to fix today. And but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what happens. I always drive home thinking, oh my God, like that was just
Mm,
amazing. Everything went as it should have. And I've managed to do my job and make sure they've had an amazing day. And that's the main
yeah,
thing, isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah. At the end of the day, to be honest, with the package, I say lesson 5, we're done. That's your last lesson. But we're never done. If you then want to message me after, send me videos, say, oh, we're having a little practice beforehand and which foot was it there? Or I
Yeah.
never just end that there because it is my job at the end of the day. Yes, you've paid for your package, we've had our 5 lessons, but I care. I want to be there for you.
She's emotionally
Whether
invested.
I am emotionally
She's along for
invested,
the ride.
I am, and why not? You know,
Yeah.
if the couple lets us in like that, what a privilege to be a part of that day.
It
So,
is an honor, isn't it? I think,
mm,
I think even a lot of guests forget that on the day, what an honor it is to be a part of the couple's day. I
massively,
never forget it as a supplier, but there are sometimes you see guests and are like, just be happy for them. Like, this is their moment, just enjoy it. And that's all
yeah,
you want, is to see the couple having an amazing day and just feeling so
mm,
honored to be a part of it.
yeah, support them through that. They've had a lot planning this, not just for them, but for you. So enjoy that. You're being fed.
You got a free
Enjoy
meal
that.
out of it. Come on.
You've got a free
Slap a
meal.
smile on, Nana. Come on.
Right? And yeah, no, they should. I think guests should be reminded that there's been a lot of work and emotional toll going into
Yeah.
this, and to just go easy,
As long as the
go
couple are
easy on this
happy, that's
couple.
the main thing. I think you forget,
Mm,
it's so easy to go through and think, even through the planning process or when they're doing their dance, and think, oh, I don't like this and I wouldn't do it this way. But I'm
mm,
constantly reminding myself, because your thoughts do, just like we have our own opinions and we have the way we
yeah.
like things, but I'm always reminding myself, if it's not my day, doesn't matter. Like, look how happy they are. That's what
Oh,
matters.
are they
So we crack
smiling?
on.
Great,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, support them through
Yeah.
that's their choice to do that. Not the song for you, but is it their song?
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you have a favorite song that's been
Oh,
used so far, or one that you
oh my
wish would be
gosh.
used?
Whoa, hang on. Can I check my
Yeah, have
Spotify?
a please do have a little.
I'm just gonna
I've
have a
thrown
quick
you off
look.
there with the question, haven't I?
No, but I love that question. I've had some lovely ones. So at the moment, I've got Tom Odell, who does the John Lewis advert.
Oh,
It's real love.
oh,
It's
stop
real. And
it! I'd
honestly,
be bawling.
I cry every time I listen to it, and I had to choreograph a little bit to it the other day. But it's one that I've actually had before quite a few years ago, so I'm so glad it's come back up.
Oh,
I love that song so much, and it's really romantic. That you can't ask for a more romantic song really than that. But he also has one that's called "Grow Old with Me," and that was one of my
oh, I
favourites that I
think
did.
I can't picture. I know I've heard it
I
though,
won't
like
sing it; I'll
doing
ruin
the.
it.
Come on, give us a little sing song. No, I won't make you.
Yay.
I'm not going to make you bring you onto my podcast and make you sing for the
No.
listeners. She'll never come back
Um,
again.
no, and they won't
No,
if I sing.
they will turn off.
No, but he does that, and that's more upbeat. So we had, you know, a bit more of a solo, like together, dancing together, but a bit of more of a solo moment for that couple, and that was really nice. People say about Ed Sheeran and how overplayed he
Yeah,
is,
I've definitely heard
and
that.
I agree to some extent, but it's lovely.
I
Like
think that
he
just means it's not your song though, then, isn't it?
I think so. If you're like, oh, it's really overplayed,
Then
you've
it's not
either
for
just
you.
heard it too much or it's just not the one for
There are
you.
so many songs out there, but that doesn't mean that someone listening to that might give them the feels every single time and it's
Yeah,
their
they hear
perfect
a
song.
certain lyric and they think, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's
Ed
me, that's
Sheeran's a
us.
very good wedding
Yeah,
song
but
artist, isn't
again,
he?
very traditional. So lots of people
Yeah.
do something different. I've got a few at the moment that I've never heard of, which I actually really enjoy that because I get to experience the song for the first time as well and listen to the lyrics and sort of fall in love with it myself, which is really nice. But then you've got like I've got at the moment "Until I Found You" by Steven Sanchez, and that was a real TikTok trending one probably like last summer or the start of this year. And that's really nice to hear because you've only actually heard the chorus that's
Yes.
played again and again on TikTok. But actually, when you then listen to the whole song, it's a lovely thing. It's so
Yeah.
nice to be able to expand. I am a human jukebox. I have so many songs now in my sort of repertoire, if you kind of want to call it that. But it's so good to hear all of these new songs.
Yeah. Do people ever come to you for song recommendations if they don't have one
After,
yet?
yeah, so I've had a few people ask. They normally don't come to me with nothing. They will have sort of a handful and
Sure.
they'll say, is this something that you think we could dance to? Or can you give us a little breakdown of which one you think might work or what vibe they all bring? So I'll always do that. If that's going to find you your song, definitely. And if it's also going to help me, because lots of couples come to me and go, this one, and they've never actually thought about how they could possibly dance to it, which is fair enough because that's my job.
Yeah.
But I will listen to it and go, oh, so a couple of times I've gone, have you ever thought of an acoustic version of this song? Or, a slightly different version, a remaster or something that's a little bit easier to dance to. And I'll never reject a song. If it's one that they have fallen in love with and they want it to be theirs, I'll never say no. But I just think you have to be able to actually count to it,
And
dance to
you're
it.
the expert in that, aren't you? I think that's what
Mm.
people come to you for. If they say this is what we're looking for, this is a song we love. If you can
Yeah.
still give them that song, but in a slightly different form, and think this is going to make your moment. I've seen this done before in this style, and I've seen it done this way. I know that this is going to create a moment. And again, people are putting that trust in you.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. And I've had one recently that actually I found really quite hard to count to. We've made it work now. It's wonderful. But they actually originally just gave me the song title, but they didn't give me that it was a specific remaster.
Sure.
So I then listened to the one that they wanted and thought, that is so much harder. But I knew how much the bride couldn't even tell me why they've chosen the song because she was going to cry.
Oh,
There was
stop it.
some meaning behind it, and I still don't know. I'm still teaching them, and I still don't know because anytime we've approached the subject,
Oh,
she's on the verge. So
it just
I'm
means
not going to
so
say
much.
no. Yeah, I'm never going to say no to that song. It might be a little bit harder to count, but we'll just work on it. It's not a
Yeah.
problem. So,
Find you a dance teacher that's willing to do the hard songs.
hey, always,
Choose
always
your
here
girl.
for them. Yeah,
Yeah.
choose your girl. Choose me. Thank you.
Choose
Please.
Maisie.
But yeah, no, 100% will just give them some recommendations, give them some ideas. On the subject of Ed Sheeran as well, there's one called Tenerife Sea.
I love
Have you
that
ever heard
song.
it?
Yeah, such a good one.
Please, can someone come to me with that? Please, I just am desperate to
Anybody
do.
listening that loves that
Anybody
song,
out there, please, want
please
to
send
do my
Maisie a
first
DM.
dance? I, at one point, he says, all that you are is all that I'll ever need. I'm so in love. And then he goes,
Oh,
and you're into this most beautiful song with this sort of faster waltz pace, and it is stunning. It's stunning.
yeah. I think when you work in weddings, like you can picture the
Mm,
moment before it
mm,
happens, can't you? When I'm putting together styling or I'm putting together plans, I can picture it. So when you're planning a dance, you can probably picture that moment
yeah.
before the couple can, and you just know this would look amazing.
So what I do is the couple sends me their song choice, and I've got my playlist. So I'll add it to my playlist, and 9 times out of 10, that will be what I listen to in the car.
Hmm.
I'm driving along, and I will be picturing, oh, there's the dip. Oh, they could
Yes,
definitely do this to this. This would be perfect. And that's how I choreograph a lot of what I do. I then take it
really.
home. I will then take myself away, choreograph it. But I would have had all of those ideas by just listening to the song once or twice and find those peaks where, there we go.
Yeah,
Look, can you imagine that moment? Like that's yeah,
really
that's
special.
how I go. But I can choreograph a dance without choreographing. Flex, proper flex in there.
Show off.
So I went for a walk with my friends and their dog the other day, and my other half's talking to them, and I just find myself drifting off into this
Yeah,
song in my head, and I've choreographed a dance.
I love that. If we ever lose you in a
Yeah.
conversation, next time we're chatting and she just her
You
eyes
know where
drift,
I
I'll be
am.
like, I know where she is.
I'm
She's
singing
listening to
Ed
Tenerife
Sheeran.
Sea in her head.
I've choreographed it for the couple that haven't even come to me yet, but
She hasn't got
yeah,
the booking, but it's ready to go. Anyone that wants it.
yeah, absolutely.
I
But
love
no,
that.
that I think that just shows my passion
Yeah.
and to be honest, my experience with it, I can
I mean, you've been dancing forever, right?
forever. My mum threw me into a class when I was 3,
Good old
and
mum.
I've got, oh God, can't thank her enough. And I've never looked back. Why would I? I found what's right for me, and it's not dancing, it's teaching.
Imparting the wisdom and the gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's seeing that person blossom. Like we said, I don't just do first dance. I do commercial, I do ballroom and Latin. I do a bit, dibble dabble in everything.
You do all sorts of stuff. I'm like, oh,
Um,
what's she doing this week?
Hang on, that's new. What's happening? But yeah, I just to see that person blossom, not in just their dance skill, but in their confidence. And there's a team that I have with Bournemouth Uni, and I have seen there's like a few girls in particular that I've had for sort of 2 or 3 years in the same team. They like rejoin, which is always gorgeous to see. And I was speaking to someone last night as we were leaving the class, and they are a different person to who I first met. And yes, they've had the full uni experience, and that changes you anyway,
It
and
does, yeah.
all of that. Like the, all the experiences you have of being independent for the first time in life and all of that. But I really do believe that being part of my class and feeling empowered through dance has had such a huge impact on how she is now as a
Mm.
person. And she just believes in herself. And I see her posting TikToks and stuff. I'm like, who is this girl?
Look at
Who?
this newfound confidence.
She is just blooming. And it's just lovely to see. It's so
Mm.
good. And it's the same with my wedding couples. I've, you've come in and you are blushing with you're red, you're nervous, you're sweating, and at the end, we're having a right old giggle and you're dancing together, you're confident, and you're actually excited
Mm.
for that moment.
It changes the way you move through life, I think. Certain things
Mm,
like dance, like things like yoga, and certain things where you're really getting in
yeah,
touch with your body change the way that
yes,
you literally walk through life. And
yes.
I think that in itself brings on a whole bunch of confidence. So even if you're
Mm,
not, I know we're here for a wedding podcast, but if you're not
mm,
looking for that and you're looking just for some empowerment in your body and the way you move in general, then
yeah,
Maisie's your gal. She does it
yeah.
all.
Get in tune, like you said, oh my God, getting into tune with your body, that
Yeah.
is so important, is learning to love yourself. It's not an easy journey. We've all been through different things, but at the end of the day, it is how you treat yourself and how you speak to yourself. But if we can help you through that, like if I can guide you with how to do that, or, be your cheerleader on the sideline that makes you think, actually, I'm not half bad actually. I quite like myself
Some
today.
people haven't heard that before either. They don't get people cheering them on through life. So, whether
Mm,
you do that for them for however many years that you're teaching them dance, or whether you do that for them through this short chapter where they're planning their wedding, they
yeah.
have someone on their side cheering them on, and not everyone has that.
Or they've heard the same voice, if they've been with their partner a little while, they've heard the same voice
Mm.
of, oh you look nice, you look lovely, and
The
like you
obligation.
hear it, yeah.
And it's lovely,
Or
isn't it? But you do tune it out after a bit. You think,
yeah,
oh,
or
you're
your
just saying
mum
that.
says it, and you think you have to say it,
Yeah, you
I'm
made
a
me, mum. Of
child.
course you got to say that.
Yeah, but I just think then if someone, I'm not saying I'm a stranger, but you've not really met me before, and if I'm saying, "Oh God, you look good doing that," like look at you go,
Mm.
it feels different. You take it on board a little bit more, and I'm very sincere with it. If I don't mean something, I won't say it.
Yeah, it's the best
Like
way
what?
to be.
Yeah, why would I? Why would I give anyone false hope or like I'm not saying with compliments and stuff. I'm just when they're doing their first dance and they say something like, "Oh, could we do?" I always think of this as an example: the Dirty Dancing lift.
Mm.
One, no,
Do you get that a
because
lot?
ah, luckily no. And I think like insurance-wise as well,
I don't
no,
need that on my shoulders.
terrifying.
Thank you very
I
much.
would need
She
7
told
crash
me to.
mats and no. But no, I will never, I will never say something that I don't mean. Like I
Mm.
don't see the point in not being authentic and being honest and open. So if I'm giving you a compliment, you better damn take that on because I truly mean that you look fantastic in that moment or that this is you, or, I will do anything I can to bring you out of that shell. No one deserves to live in that shell.
No, I love that. Listen, empowering advice today on the
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm always on it.
No,
God, if you get me started, you need to stop me.
you do as well, because I know I keep coming back to your socials and stuff, but you've got to
Yeah.
go and follow her on social media. She's always sharing these positive quotes and empowerment. Sometimes I'll just be scrolling through and I'll think, oh,
Do you know what though,
that's so
Abby? The
nice to hear that
whole point
today.
of it though is I grew up in my teens. I had no confidence. I actually posted a TikTok today as we're filming this. Like I posted one about how little I knew about where I'd be
I
now.
saw it. Yeah, yeah.
Did you? I honestly can't believe that, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the difference. I could never have done anything like this or seen that I could do anything like this because I had no love for myself. I had such little trust in who I was. And I know it takes time and years and stuff to sort of develop that, but yeah, now I know we've
She
got
knows what
this.
she's made of. She
Oh,
knows what she's got.
yeah. I mean, we still all have our days. Imposter
Oh
syndrome,
my God,
small
of
business, all of
course.
that. My goodness, that's hard. But
Well, this is what I was saying earlier, like going on
mm,
the morning of a wedding, and I'm like, oh God, can I do this? And I'm like, I
yeah,
have to talk to myself and be like, of course you can.
come
Like,
on.
have you seen what I can do?
Yeah.
I know I can do this.
You've had the feedback from your clients. You know you're good at what you do
Exactly.
and you're passionate, and that's all really that you need
Yeah. And I
to
think
sort of
we
build
do that for our couples throughout the process. You know, I'm building them
that.
up whilst they're planning, you're building them up whilst they're dancing. You know, we have to have that within ourselves to be able to give the best to our couples, and
Absolutely.
it comes in circles, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. There's waves, peaks and troughs,
They
but
build us up, we build them back up. It's a
yeah.
nice cycle. This is why the friendship and the trust is so important, and I think
Mm,
it makes such a big impact on the day and the results that our couples get as well.
definitely.
Okay, so I know you've said that you kind of do 5 lessons with people, don't you? But what kind of
Mhm.
time frame, if people are going to come to you and they're thinking about doing a first dance and they want some help with that, what's the kind of time frame you advise people on?
So, if they are doing a package, or to be fair, even just a handful of lessons, I'd say to start about 3 months before your wedding. The whole reason for that is so that you can enjoy a relaxed experience. Don't cram it in too close to your wedding day where then you don't have time to practice or add any extra sessions if that's what you wish. I think if you give yourself that time, allow yourself to enjoy that experience, it's always the best way to go. Don't cram. We all know what it's like to don't cram it in.
Don't rush. Don't like this is the stuff
Mm,
that causes stress and pressure. And then you'll get to the wedding
mm.
day, I'm sure, and they won't have practiced enough and they'll then be dreading doing the first dance, which defeats the
Yeah.
whole object of what
The
you've been trying
whole
to
object. I'm like, girl, come on. I told you. No, yeah, if you do a good 3 months beforehand, get in touch with me maybe 4 or 5 months in advance so that you can book in when it suits you and have your nice evenings, away from your kids or work
Yeah.
or together that you don't normally get. I said to my couple the other day, when do you ever get to dance together on a Wednesday night? This is incredible. This is so much fun
Yeah.
just to
Usually sat in front of
really
Netflix, right?
fun.
With
Yeah,
snacks and a cup of tea.
and you're tired. You've had you sit down and you lose all of your energy.
Yeah, and
There
you're not
is
talking to each other at that point, are you?
there's no communication. Whereas this, full communication,
And it brings
full.
up other things, like you'll be able to talk about other things of the wedding. It will trigger other things. Because
Mm,
I talk about communication a lot and how important that is with everyone in your wedding journey, but your partner specifically, because you're doing this together, for each
mm,
other. It's part of you doing it together. So if you're not making time to communicate and strengthen your bond, then there really is just no
yeah,
point. Scrap the whole thing.
absolutely. Yes, just do not get married.
Don't bother.
I
No,
think
not at all.
what's been really nice is I actually have people traveling to me.
Do
I've got some
you?
couples at the moment that are coming a good like hour for their lesson.
Wow.
It's incredible and so nice. Very flattering. Very nice.
Yeah, it boosts,
Um,
it shows that what you do is valuable and people value that. People
mm,
put the money and the time and the effort into things that they really value.
yeah, and they are valuing each other in that because they're spending that extra time
Yeah.
coming to me. And so lots of them then go out for a date night after. So they'll have the experience of me. They'll go out for dinner because they've made the effort to come all the way, to Bournemouth. And then they'll have dinner and then they'll drive home.
That sounds that you're making me want to do it tonight.
Yeah.
Let's just.
Come on, let's go.
I'm coming over.
And then we'll go out for dinner.
Yeah, yeah, then we'll all go out for dinner.
I'm with
No,
you.
it feels like it's such a nice thing to do. I talk so much
Mm,
about make time for date nights, make time for things that aren't wedding related. And although this is wedding related, it's not researching and finding suppliers and admin and emails. This is the fun
mm.
stuff. This is what makes your wedding journey what it
Yeah.
is and brings those
Enjoy the
memories.
process where you can. Yes, there's going to be stuff you're not going to enjoy. Paying invoices. No
Oh,
one enjoys that.
rank,
Ugh.
yeah.
But there's other things. Look for the highlights. Look for the
Mm,
fun bits that are going to boost your experience and take you away
yeah.
from the stress of wedmin.
Exactly. It's the fun stuff, isn't it? I think even if it's not doing a first dance, maybe they're not choosing to do
Mm,
a first dance, but maybe they're
mm.
making things for their wedding and they go to pottery classes or glass making
Yeah.
classes. I don't know. They want to make something for their wedding day. It's
Little
taking
trip
that
to
time.
Hobbycraft together.
Exactly. Who doesn't love a trip to
Gorgeous.
Hobbycraft? Come
Oh,
on. I mean,
so
my
good.
partner doesn't, but I do have a great time.
Hey, we should go together.
We will go together. We'll leave the boys at home.
Yeah, we'll leave them at home.
Every time he's like, oh, again. I'm like, yes,
Like,
just let
why?
me
What do you even
browse.
need? I'm like, I don't. I just like it.
Nobody
It's
needs
nice.
anything. Come on. It's
Yeah.
about bringing the joy. But yeah, definitely it's about making those moments, isn't it, that you're doing stuff together
Yeah.
that's outside of your usual come home, cook dinner, shower, go to bed.
Mm. Have a date night.
Treat yourself.
Oh, treat yourself. And I'll be a third wheel, always. There's
You
never been
almost
a complaint.
no, but you learn to become really invisible, I
Mm.
think. I
Mm.
part of it you're bringing someone on. I find myself talking to couples and they'll end up on our calls just going into a little conversation between themselves about, oh, maybe we should do this, maybe we should. And I'm just like, I'll just sit
And you're just,
here. I'll just
hello.
watch, like ready for when you need me
Yeah.
again. It's a really weird
Yeah.
experience, but I love it.
My couple did like do their final move, and I always say like, if that moment, if it takes you into a little kiss or a cuddle,
Oh,
do it. Like
yeah.
that's natural. Then that's you. That's natural, and that's what we want from it. And they do, but I'm there. Doesn't put them off.
Just watching along.
Just having a little look at a little
Cheering them
kiss.
on, another kiss. Come on.
Woohoo! Let's go. But again, it's natural. Like we're gonna be there for those moments, and if they feel comfortable to do that in front of us, bit of PDA,
Oh, I know.
gorgeous.
I
Do
know
it.
that I'm not always an advocate for PDA, don't get me wrong, even though I'm a wedding
Mm,
planner, but when it comes to weddings, as much
please
as you can
do.
get in, do it, especially if the photographer's watching.
As much as you can get in.
Yeah,
I
all the
love that.
kisses, all the
All
cuddles,
the kisses and
handholds.
cuddles.
Obviously,
Yeah.
keep it PG.
Yeah, certain extent. Oh, I do have some this doesn't have to stay in if you don't want to. But
We'll see how we go.
I do have some like they cuddle and then the groom often gives a little bum slap.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with a bum slap.
I love a little bum
Because
slap,
that's
but I
isn't
think
that what you do at home, isn't it? You're cooking dinner and you're in the
yeah,
kitchen, a little slap on the bum, and then you
slap
have a
on the
little
bum,
kiss.
little
If they're
kisses.
comfortable,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm
to
like,
do that in front
wow,
of
you feel
you.
comfortable. Well, 9 times out of 10, the bride will look at me and go, sorry.
Of course, but inside she's loving it. She's
He is like, squeeze my bum again. Lovely.
touch my
Right.
bum.
See, guys, this is where obviously Abby and I we were gonna get inappropriate at
Of
one
course.
point because
Because we're just friends as well.
we're
There's no
friends.
way this was going to stay fully professional. And, there's pros and cons to having you as my first guest. I don't want
Yeah.
to give other guests that are going to come on the idea that we're always going to take it to this level.
Hey,
But yeah,
it's
moral
good
of the
though.
story is there's
Good
nothing wrong
listening.
with a little bum slap.
No, definitely not. Bring
It
it
shows
on.
they're comfortable. Yeah.
If they're comfortable to do that in front of me, we can do anything.
You've done a job well done.
Job well done.
Okay. So we've covered a
She's like,
lot
okay,
today.
moving on.
I don't want to get cancelled, Maisie.
No, let's go. Let's keep going. Keep going.
Oh dear. Um, we've covered a lot. I'm just checking my
Mm,
notes because
mm.
I wanted to make sure that we covered as much as we could about the first dance because it's not talked about enough, I don't think. So I'm really grateful that we've been able to
And
have this
when
conversation.
it is talked about, it's talked about in traditional
Hmm.
first dance. It's looked upon as though it's going to be a horrible experience. But I will reiterate that is exactly what I am here to make sure it's not. It's not going to be this experience that you hear. It's not a choreographed, stiff routine. It's just giving you something so that you have a bit of confidence. That's all it is.
Yeah, there's
It's
nothing
not.
better than a nice spin and
No,
yeah.
exactly. No, no, absolutely. And it's like having the knowledge of the bride's dress, for example. It's not
Mm,
something you've thought about. And if you've not planned your wedding dance at all and you've not had a teacher sort of know, so I always know what my bride's dress is like before I choreograph. So I will just make sure that they're aware. I'm not letting the groom know exactly what the dress is like or anything like that, but I'm like, let's not tread on toes. And by toes, I mean dress. I'm
yeah.
like, let's give
Code
her a little
words.
bit of extra room there. And I look at her like, yeah, I gotcha. I
I've got,
gotcha,
yeah,
girls.
this is the thing. And I think part of that
Mm,
is about there are certain things on the day that people want to keep
mm,
private, but you're
of
still
course.
able to give them those moments and teach in a way that's going to benefit them on the day by
Mm.
just knowing what the dress is going to be, knowing what
Like,
kind of shoes they
I,
might have
yeah,
on.
I wouldn't stand there if I were you. I wouldn't put your foot
Won't do
in
that if
that
I was you,
position.
sir. Step away.
Give her room.
Yeah. Bit of breathing room, please, groom. Move
Yeah,
away.
but
Yeah.
genuinely, I do because I think okay, if we're doing this spin, I'm going to direct you so that your foot doesn't tread directly on her toe or her
Mm.
dress. That's what I'm here for, and it will help through their day as well. They'll be a little bit more spatially aware.
Yeah, yes, a bit of spatial awareness because you get wrapped up in the
Mm,
moment. And I think, you'll be able to tell them we shouldn't do this spin because of the dress, or we shouldn't do this lift and we shouldn't do
yeah,
that because maybe they've got a really slim fitting dress that actually they can't move their legs in it that far.
no,
So they've
I've
got to
had
stay
a few of
pretty
those.
static.
Yeah, they are kind of stuck in one position. Fine, we will work around that.
Okay, so what piece, as we're like rounding up our first dance thing
Mm,
with all of the information, all of the stuff you've kind of shared today, what's your
yeah,
top piece of advice that you would give to any couples thinking about learning a first dance?
get some help. Get some help with it. Don't feel that it's something that you have to dread. Have some lessons together. Like we've said, not only is it a lovely experience on the day, but it's something lovely to help you escape in the lead up as well. And it's going to boost your confidence, not just for that moment, but through your whole day. So, my main piece of advice, whether it's with me or not,
Should
you
be.
should, cheeky plug, but you should just go and learn some steps, learn some moves that give you something. Doesn't have to be fully choreographed, just gives you something
Mm,
so that you are ready. You feel a bit prepared for that
yeah,
moment.
I love that. It's something to
Mm,
keep you feeling excited after
yeah.
the actual wedding ceremony's done, isn't it? And you're not
Hmm.
just then, because the wedding blues are a real thing.
Oh,
So the longer you can keep that high going,
mhm.
I think, yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And like we said, afterwards, keep dancing that first dance, just in your
Teach it to your
kitchen.
kids,
Yeah.
make it a
Oh, don't,
generational
Abby.
dance.
Whoa, I will cry. Yeah, no, honestly, it really does. It stays with you. So go have that experience, please. It isn't just, I'm slightly biased. Okay,
Of
we will
course.
agree on that. But it really is such an intimate, beautiful experience. I can't recommend it more for anyone. Anyone. If you've danced before, if you haven't, it's honestly open to any person, any
There's your
couple.
top tip, guys. So, and you won't know this yet because obviously you're my first guest, but there is one question that I'm going to be asking every single guest that comes on the podcast. We
Mm,
focus on the non traditional around here, we focus on bespoke and personal and things like that. So, with that in
yeah.
mind, it doesn't have to be dance related, but what is the one wedding rule or tradition that if you could click your fingers and get rid of it forever, what would it be?
Oh, oh my goodness. Right. I don't want to sound harsh or
But this is your
controversial here.
personal opinion. This is the thing,
This is
it can
my
be anything.
personal, yeah, this is my personal opinion. And no, it's not related to dance. I have witnessed so many weddings where they have invited people who they don't know because they feel they have to be invited.
Oh,
Who is this person? You don't know. Why are they here on possibly one of the biggest, most special days of your life? Why have you invited them? Why
yeah.
are you buying them dinner? Would you do that every day for a stranger that you don't know? No. Would you do it on your birthday? No. So why are you doing it on your wedding day? What are your
I
thoughts on that?
could not agree more. You'll get me started on another tangent. Like, we need a
Oh,
whole other episode for this. Plus
yeah.
ones, personally, I can't stand them either. Yeah, I
Mm.
agree. They should be gone. You're putting so much time and energy and effort in, and
Mm.
then you've got someone messaging you saying, "Can I bring this person I've just started
Are they on
dating?"
the invite? Then no.
No, they
Come on.
cannot.
Come
I'm
on.
not
I had
giving them.
no, my friends got married recently and they felt, well, especially the bride, because they weren't related to them, it was on his
Mm,
side. And she felt that she had to invite these people. She'd never met them, they'd not seen them in years anyway, and they didn't even know they were engaged.
wow.
But they felt because other family members had perhaps mentioned it, or they felt the pressure
Mm,
to do that. Oh, no, this is your day. And it's also
yeah.
your money, not being funny, but it's a huge cost per guest.
It
So,
makes me so mad. And do you know what I think as well?
mm,
Because a lot of it comes down to who's there on the day. And if you're already nervous about your wedding dance, say, bringing it back to this kind of
mm,
fits nicely with the topic. But if you're already nervous about your wedding dance and you've got 4 or 5 strangers there that you've never met, that you've now got to dance in front of,
at
that would make me
least,
sick to my stomach.
yeah.
Truly. I'd
Who
be
are
sick
you?
everywhere.
Why are you watching me dance?
And they're
Run.
sharing your special day with you. I think it's really tough. Like, and you see all this stuff where they're like, oh yeah, we'll just put them on the end of the photos and so you can cut them out if you need to. I'm like, no, just don't bring them.
Should
Say
never have
no.
to
Like, put
cut
boundaries in place and say
anyone.
no plus ones. Get
If it's
out.
someone you want to cut from a photo, don't have them at your
100%.
don't
Yeah.
have them. And I
It,
know it's hard and
it
it
gets
might
tough if it's like
be
partners and stuff, isn't it? And if they've been
yeah.
married, there's always a chance of a divorce and you can't really help that. But they've still been a part of your life and they've still, I'm talking complete strangers.
Yeah, I'm talking another example, right? Same wedding. There was a lot of pressure.
Oh,
No kids under a certain age because of certain rules and things that they actually had with their venue. It wasn't their
right.
personal decision, it was they had a certain amount that they could have and then a certain age. Otherwise, they'd have to literally employ someone to come and look after all the kids because of the venue rules.
Yeah.
Fair enough. These people just brought their kids on the day.
Oh, the way I would lose my mind, and I say this all the time, I
Mm.
don't care to be the bad guy on the day. If you say kick them out, I'll do my very
I do
best.
it.
I will
Yeah,
do
I
my
do that
very best. If
too.
anybody turned up to my wedding day with a rogue child and like a stranger,
Rogue child. You mean their own child.
well, it's rogue to me. They're
It's
not on
rogue
the
to
guest
you.
list.
No, no, yeah, no,
Do you know, I
no.
think it's so rude and it's so entitled. And of course, we might love your kids, but it's our wedding day.
Mm,
Like, you had them at yours, hopefully.
mm.
If it'd be quite rude if you didn't invite your own kids to your wedding. Maybe they weren't born yet. That's fine.
No, yeah,
Whatever.
no.
But yeah,
But
it's
it's not necessary.
don't bring
If
people that
you're
aren't
not on
invited
the
to the wedding
invite,
day.
there's a reason for that. And it might not even be personal. It might just be numbers, what the couple can afford, or
Yeah.
how many they can fit into their venue. Don't take it so personally.
This is what we said. It's
If
an
it is
honor.
personal, they'll let you know.
They maybe
You'll know
you've done
about it.
something wrong. Maybe you're not very nice, but
Oh, but no, honestly, no, just don't.
yeah.
Just respect their wishes. That's who they've invited. Let's not push that.
Yeah. I think,
That is my one. Mm-mm,
yeah. I
mm-mm,
fully support that. I think
mm.
this is their day. This is what it comes back down to. If they don't want you there, sorry, they don't want
And
you
that is
there.
going back to, very briefly, but going back to, if they invite me to their evening,
Mm,
I feel so privileged. I feel so honoured because a guest list isn't open to everyone. It's a
it's
guest
not.
list
No.
for a reason. And then you feel that you want to invite me. I am going to soak up every second of that and enjoy that because you want me to. You want me there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, don't,
She's
don't
getting angry. I
push
do this.
it.
I've done
Yeah,
this
no.
before where I'm getting passionate about something and then I realize it's okay. It's not actually happening to me right
You
now.
realise it's okay. It's all right. It's all
Got to
right.
calm myself down. Yeah, there's nothing worse than people just wanting to take charge of your wedding when it's not their wedding day. So yeah, I will always be the advocate. I can't promise that I can hustle someone and get them kicked out, but I'll do my very best. I'll
Yeah,
maybe call someone else for help.
yeah. Or just a polite word to them
Yeah,
that,
because you don't want to
mm,
deal with that on your wedding day. So if you need me to go over and say,
no,
"Hiya," just to let you know, you're not
and that
actually
is,
on the guest list.
you're not. Actually, your dog isn't supposed to be here.
Yeah, you've actually brought 4 screaming kids with you, and there's no space for them to go. They can sit in the back,
Yeah.
back room
I thought you were going to say in the
unnecessarily.
car then. In the car.
They can wait in the boot. No. This episode is
Oh,
getting more and more unhinged as we go
it
through.
is. But it's good. It's all good.
I'm
We're,
having a
we're
great
just
time.
passionate. We're passionate about what we
We
do.
love what we do. We really do. But
And
yeah,
we don't love the extra guests.
no plus ones.
I mean, +1 if you know them.
But then they're not a plus
+1.
one. They're a guest.
No, see? Yes. Okay. I get yes.
This is the
Absolutely.
thing. People will say, oh, but it's so and so that it's their new boyfriend. They've been with for 3 or 4 months. Well, have you met them? Oh, yeah, we see them every week. Well, then they're not a plus one. They're a guest. So they're
Yeah.
very welcome to come if you
Oh,
want them to be there.
yes. Yes. All over that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I
Yeah. But
cannot stand plus ones.
that is my rule.
Very good
Don't
one.
take the Mickey because it's not cool.
Yeah. No. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. So before we finish, do you want to just let everyone know where they can find you and come and follow you
Yes.
and reach out? Obviously, we're based in Dorset, aren't we? So right by the
Yeah.
coast.
Dorset based. Like Bournemouth is my sort of pinpoint, but I do travel for things. And I will also briefly mention I do Hindu dance sessions
Oh my
as
God, I've
well.
had this written down. I haven't even mentioned it to you. The
Yeah,
Hindu dance
yeah.
sessions.
Hindu
Yes.
dance sessions. So people come to me. I like to think I'm like the icebreaker. I'm the first thing you would do on a day to bond. Lots of bridal parties are sort of uni friends, friends from home, family. So you're kind of trying to bond them. How do you do that?
Mm.
Introducing MRC Dance.
Here I
So
am.
here I am. That I will create a routine to the song or theme of your choice, and we have an hour and a half just to boogie, learn that routine, and we have a right old laugh together. And then you go off and enjoy the rest of your day. You've had the best bonding experience. You're going to be best mates with all these people that you're going to spend a day or a weekend with, and then you'll see them again at the wedding. So you've had this nice experience together, and you can't you can't ask for anything better than dancing. I'm putting it out there. You can't.
Nothing's better than a
That's
good
it. Full
boogie.
stop. End. Done.
Yes. So you
Yeah.
do your first dance stuff, you do your Hindu party stuff, you do
Mm.
regular dance lessons,
Yes.
all of the
That's
above.
me.
And
And some
where can people
classes.
find
Yeah.
you on socials and
For
website and things like that?
socials, yeah, I am MRC Dance on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. I have a website, again, just MRC Dance. And if you want to see any like reviews, feedback, or anything, there's lots on my Instagram, but also on Google. I've got some nice words on there as well. If you want to go and read a little bit about me and what I'm like.
I
But
can
yeah,
advocate that she's
amazing.
very nice, and if this episode has not
Oh,
shared that with you, then they probably
I was
shouldn't be
just
coming
saying
to hire you
plus
anyway.
ones. Duh. It hasn't shown that I'm the nicest, but yeah, I
Yeah,
am. I'm
no,
friendly.
definitely.
I'm approachable. So
Yeah.
please do come and follow me. It would be incredible to have you come over as well. But Abby, thank you so much for having me on your
Thank you.
podcast.
This has been
I
so
feel
fun.
so blessed that I am your
We
first
will
guest.
definitely have to have you back. I knew this was going to be a good one to start with because, like I say,
Mm.
the ice with us is already broken.
Oh
So
yes.
we were going to have a great time and a good chat, and it has. We've had a
Mm.
good natter, and yeah, it's been great. I'll put all of the links and stuff to you in the show notes. If anybody wants to go find those, then they can.
Oh,
And oh, this has just been so nice. I could keep talking to you all day.
I don't really want to say goodbye, to be honest, but we
Let's
got
just
to
stop
end
the
this at some
recording and
point.
we can keep going so that they
We
don't
can
have to
plan
keep
our next
listening.
one. I love it.
Exactly. Well, thank
Oh,
you so, so much. And
thank
this has
you
been
so
great.
much. It has been amazing. I have absolutely loved it. So thanks again.
Thank you for listening to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to create your dream wedding day and those lasting memories. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'll be back next Wednesday with more tips, advice, and inspiration. In the meantime, don't be a stranger. Come and find me on Instagram and TikTok at Your Wedding Unlimited, where I share even more wedding ideas and behind the scenes insights. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube at Your Wedding Unlimited. And if you're looking for even more support, come and join my private Facebook group, Your Wedding Unlimited. It's an amazing community of fun and authentic engaged couples, packed with extra tips, advice, and insights to guide you along your journey. If you have any questions or need more info, you can DM me or send me an email at yourweddingunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. All links and details will be in the show notes. Until next time, happy planning!